When Grace Holloway turned 72, she believed she had earned peace. A retired accountant, careful with every bill, she moved into Maple Haven nursing home after a minor stroke left her unsteady on her feet. She still managed her own finances, kept a small garden of violets on her windowsill, and sent postcards to her granddaughter every week. But comfort can hide traps. One afternoon, Grace noticed a check missing from her ledger, then to more withdrawals she couldn't recall approving. When she asked the administrator, he smiled too easily. "Just standard facility fees, Miss Holloway. You must have forgotten signing the updates." She hadn't. Her memory was sharp, painfully so. Later that week, she overheard two nurses whispering outside her door. One of them said, "Dr. Miller wants her documents done before the audit." Grace froze. Miller was the head of operations, charming to families, ruthless to staff. She began watching quietly, recording details in the small notebook she used for Sudoku. Numbers never lied, even when people did. What she found was simple and horrifying. The home had been forging patient signatures to divert insurance reimbursements into a private account. They had chosen her because a cautious handwriting was easy to imitate. Grace tried to report it, but her emails were blocked, her letters intercepted. Miller called her confused, added a sedative to her prescription, and assigned a nurse named Carla to keep her calm. For a while, Grace drifted in and out of fog. The days blurred, medicine, meals, silence. But one night, when Carla came to check her vitals, the nurse whispered, "I know what they're doing. I'm sorry." Carla had debts and a child at home. She'd been forced to sign the documents, terrified of losing her job. Grace looked at her and said softly, "Then help me make it right. Numbers are my language. You just need to open the file cabinet." Over the next month, while pretending to decline, Grace guided Carla in gathering evidence, photocopies of falsified statements, internal emails, the ledger of ghost payments, all stored in a hidden folder labeled Flower Orders 2022. Then came her quiet move. She wrote to her former colleague from the tax office, a woman she once mentored. The letter was short. "Check the numbers. They don't add up." GH within 2 weeks. Investigators arrived for a surprise financial audit. Miller laughed, confident everything was clean, until the inspectors pulled the flower orders folder from the drawer. The forged signatures matched perfectly, each initial loop identical to Grace's. The scandal unfolded quickly. Miller was suspended, the administrator resigned, and the home fell under federal review. Carla, trembling, told the truth in full and was granted immunity. When the officials thanked Grace for her courage, she simply said, "I didn't want justice. I wanted my name back." The local paper wrote a small article, "Elderly resident exposes fraud at care facility." Grace never read it. She didn't care for headlines. What mattered was that her ledger balanced again, every number honest. Carla kept visiting her on weekends, bringing her son to help water the violets. Grace taught him how to double-check receipts, how to see the beauty in accuracy. She never spoke about revenge. She called it correction, the final entry in a lifelong balance sheet. And every evening, when the light fell through the blinds onto her notebook, she would smile faintly and whisper, "Reconciled."